Everybody, LK here, back at it again with another video, and today I'm just kind of going to keep on talking about characters at the end of Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 2. Kind of been swapping between like what I've been doing personally in tournaments, characters that have disappeared, and characters at the top of the pyramid, which mostly came from, and this video is in the description, my tier list video that I ported from Twitch. The S tier characters were cut out of the video. So last week we talked about Kid Buu, the one true god of this game, the ruler of the game, right? And this week we're gonna skip GT, half because I think everyone just like knows he's that good, and also the other half is they also know the majority of the reasons why he's that good. So instead, I want to talk about a more interesting character to me, Teen Gohan. And what I really like about Teen Gohan is that it's a real come up, especially for like the US. So my perspective, at least, is that in Europe, they've played Teen Gohan pretty much from the beginning. The US has also had Teen Gohan players from the beginning, but I don't feel like it's as much. So they kind of knew how good he was pretty quickly, and of course, like Japan, we saw Teen Gohan being played since around Evo or something, but the US didn't really catch on to him until around like October, November, just kind of like a wasn't his character top 3 kind of thing. And this thing, him being S tier, a top 3 character, is a really good example of why I like annual patches. I know I'm gonna get roasted for this, but I've said it before, we have time to really figure out the game and the characters. So last year we did have more patches, right? In season 1 we did have more patches, but it was a brand new fighting game with a brand new system that no one understood. There was legit bugs. There were like infinites last year. Characters had hard knockdowns for no resources. There was all sorts of crazy stuff last year compared to this year, for better or for worse. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But this year they have a much better understanding of how not just the game, but like how people play the game, because they had a whole year of tournaments and a tour last year. So this year is much more of a let's see what people can kind of do play box, like. And you can make the argument like, yeah, but what if Bardock was just like, we knew Bardock was the best, we thought Bardock was the best, what if he just stayed the best? And like, okay, what if like that could have happened, but it didn't happen. Usually when we have a while with a game, like we have like this character's the best, but they kind of go down a little bit as people learn how to fight them better. And then, hey, doesn't this character have a bunch of crazy tools? Aren't they like really good? Or like, isn't this character super overrated and like stuff like that? So Teen Gohan is definitely probably like the standout, one of the main standouts of the year, probably along with like Base Goku and maybe Base Vegeta, maybe a couple other characters as like characters that were way better than people thought they were initially, which is what we're going to talk about today. What is good about him, why he is the third, I think he's literally the third best character in the game, and what he adds, what he gives you. So let's hop right into this. So with Teen Gohan, there's a pretty obvious place to start with, right? A pretty obvious place to start with, and that's definitely going to be his meter build and his damage potential. So we're gonna be talking about combos for a while. You don't even need, it's kind of, let's say, definitely one of the hardest things about learning him is like learning which combos to do. You can definitely get lost in the sauce. Every Teen Gohan player seems to use different combos, but what they mostly have in common is that they build a ton of meter and do a lot of damage. Even just like right here, starting at the beginning of the round, this is death, this is death, and this is death, just from 300 seconds. He has a lot of ways to kill you from 0, and that's a big deal because his threat level is really high. Combine that with like he has good corner carry as well, so a lot of his hits, of course this is pretty much his B&B of assists, but he could do this from anywhere, carry to the corner from anywhere, and then choose what he wants to do. He can snap you, he can knock you down, whatever. So this damage thing lends itself to the next thing I want to talk about for him. Yeah, he does a lot of damage, builds a lot of meter, but there are a bunch of other characters that can do that too. So what is so special about him? One is that he builds more. Like he builds about, what was that? 2.5 bars, something like that from that combo. If you want to talk about his offense, then you gotta talk about the snap here, right? So he has a very good snap game because he's one of the characters that can fuzzy everybody with the new. The Japanese players call it the new fuzzy, literally, and we call it like the universal fuzzy. But he's one of the characters that could do it to everybody in the game. So it's like no one is safe from this type of situation. One thing we had in this scene for a really long time is that people say that tall characters are disproportionately affected by snaps and fuzzies. I think this mostly comes from how easy it is to do a fuzzy and how little people optimize their snap offense. So now what people tend to do with snap, and this is why like snap fell off and why some people don't do it now, is that the game is built to be essentially a 2-touch game, right? 2 touches and that's it. But if you hit somebody, so if I hit Adult Gohan, then I have to snap him and then hit this character twice. But the whole reason I'm snapping is because I don't want you to have options or have very few options. So when I hit this character, then I bring Adult Gohan back in. So there's potential for me to take like 4 or 5, 6 hits to kill one character. But because Teen Gohan does so much damage and builds so much meter, you can choose to snap a character in, hit them with a mix-up like the Universal Fuzzy or whatever, right? And then knock the character down and then try to kill them from that. Or you could hit that character that you snapped, right? Bring in the original character and then kill them off the next hit, especially if you optimize the right way. So his threat level here is really high. And even if they block, depending on how you build your team, you either get 2 more mix-ups, so 3 mix-ups total, or 3 or 2, depending on just like which way you want to set it up. It's very, 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 very strong. Staying on the topic of offense, this kind of comes implied from like his corner carry. The weakest knockdown you could say in the game would be soft knockdowns, right? Mid-screen soft knockdowns. If you soft knock down your opponent mid-screen and you successfully catch them, good job, because they have like 10 or 11 or 12 options they could use to get up, like delay up tech, delay in place, delay immediate up, like back, delay down, variable frame time. Like they have all these things they could do from soft knockdown, right? Teen Gohan rarely has to worry about it. Either he gets you to the corner and snaps you, gets you to the corner and knocks you down for slide knockdown, or he has meter for level 3 because he always builds so much meter. On top of that, while still talking about offense, he is one of the few characters that sets himself up in the air easily. So he has, I don't have the meter, he has 2 ways of doing it. He has these EX legs and he has M legs. So M legs is not perfect, there's like a 1 frame gap, but that's kind of a guessing game you can play if your opponent. And of course EX legs, there's no gap. So this is the type of stuff you use not only after snap, but also when you're like rushing them down normally with assists. Him being airborne means that he can easily set some mix up, meaning you could use him with a lot of characters and mix people up. Overall, his offense and combo ability, damage, what you need to do to get combos and get a game plan going, all very, very good, all very, very streamlined, because he's always taking you to the corner, always doing damage, always building meter. Next would be like some neutral stuff, right? So the first thing I want to talk about would be his auto combos. So he has like really good anti-airs, and this actually is the main reason I decided to pick him up and over Bardock. So his auto combo doesn't have the head invincibility that Bardock's M Lariat does, but it is much easier to use. It is super easy to use, and if you use it the right way, you are plus after the auto combo, because you bring down legs and then it's your turn. It's not invincible, so like Bardock, yeah, he has M Lariat. This move has head invul, right? Head invincibility. But you kind of have to like line it up. They can like flow all sorts of ways, air dash at you, whatever. Teen Gohan is much easier to use. Like you basically just run at them, or you can like run under them, whatever is easier, and you just mash. It's way easier to use. And the return is higher, and you don't need an assist to protect you. He could protect himself. All these things are really good for him. You could choose to do something like this too. There's a lot of things you could do with it. When he's not in, of course, you have the thing that won the World Tour, DP assist, right? So his is not as fast as Gohan's. So Gohan's is like 7. Oh wow, it's much faster. I thought it was 17. It's actually 15. Okay, so it's super fast. But it doesn't have full invul. It has head invul. So this is not as fast, but practical speed is quite fast, right? You want to compare it to Bardock, right? It's only 1 frame slower than Bardock. Most people say Bardock's assist is extremely fast. So Teen Gohan has an extremely fast, not top tier speed, but like very fast. And it's full invincibility, and you can use it the same way. So still all around really good, really solid, super easy to use. If their back's to the corner, it's good. If they're under you and try to scramble, it's invincible, so it's good. There's a lot of good ways to use that assist, between calling it when they're jumping, etc. Right? The next thing will be is reversals. Talking about reversals and still neutral a little bit. So you might be like, man, okay, you're gonna pick Broly to talk about Teen Gohan? Yes. yes. I picked a 6-foot character to talk about a 5'11" character. It'll make sense in a little bit. So we're gonna talk about the Ki Blast first, just trying to stay in line, stay on topic, right? So Teen Gohan has the fastest Ki Blast. It's 23 frames, right? 23. For comparison's sake, right? SSJ Goku has a pretty standard Ki Blast, it's like 27. And then Broly actually has... Oh, it's because he's mashing. My bad. Don't mash. There we go. So Broly actually has the same speed, is what I would say. So Broly has the absolute fastest. Teen Gohan... Well, I actually not know that. I thought they both had 23. Teen Gohan and Broly are in the super fast group, though, right? So his is very fast, and once you're basically in dash range, you can't really react to this. We're both learning at the same time, by the way. Right? Once... What? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is 23, right? I guess his hits variably. Okay. So they're in the super fast range regardless, though. And once you get here, it's basically you can't see it, and it's really hard to deal with. This is a very common theme in Dragon Ball, by the way, where someone has something or does something that you see the animation, but by the time the animation is over, the move is over already, and they're doing something else. So that's a really huge boon to him, and it's very easy to hit confirm, just like Broly's, because it's multiple hits. You can just sit there, spam it, play really lame with it. He doesn't have a beam. But he does have this, and you can combine it with this, which is also super fast, and you get really good screen control. Then you have reversals. So Teen Gohan has something that's pretty uncommon in this game, and he has actual DP. So he has like the 1 frame head invul, light DP, the full invul, medium DP, and of course EX, right? Broly has something that's much more common in the game, but still really good, and that is my frame 4 special property reversal, which you might be like, man, it's frame 4, like it's not that good, but in the context of the game, it's very good because it could be applied in a ton of spots. Like after vanish, can't mess with this. After overhead, can't mess with this, right? Really hard to deal with, right? But Teen Gohan, he's full invul frame 1, so there's way more spots you could use this as opposed to the 4-frame armor move. Of course, people can bait it, but the threat of it being there really favors Teen Gohan. Then, of course, he's small. Small, usually in the game, people consider being small a good thing overall. I feel like in today's game, it is still kind of a benefit. Not in the traditional way, because, you know, universal fuzzy effects, everybody know. but it still probably is like you kind of avoid cross-ups a little bit easier because you're smaller. Sometimes, I mean, the general fuzzies don't work on you, so if you care about that, then that's a big thing too. And depending on neutral tools, you could be harder to hit. Those are usually the best things about being small. Compared to a big character who, like Broly, so yeah, he's super big, but he, you know, he has this massive screen control, whatever. A lot of the small characters do kind of have the same type of offense thing where they can put themselves in the air kind of easily with offense and stuff like that. But definitely being a smaller target is not a bad thing overall in neutral. So that's pretty much what he has. So the main thing to end this is that a lot of people, the discussion came up where people started to think about it, is the discussion came up of who's better, Teen Gohan or Adult Gohan. So what is kind of generally agreed upon is that Adult Gohan is slightly worse because technically he is literally a better character, but he's locked behind unlimited potential. So the way he has to go around it is that either he just plays neutral with a good neutral assist or 2 good neutral assists and use, like, you know, his JS's or whatever until he gets in and hits you and levels up, or he puts a character that has better neutral in him, like Gogeta or Bardock or Kid Buu or something, hit them and then bring in Adult Gohan to level up this way, because once Adult Gohan's leveled up, he is a better character than Teen Gohan. But Teen Gohan gets all these things I talked about from the jump. So there's no leveling up involved. He just, what he has is what he has. So most people value, especially because they use Teen Gohan generally, not always, but Teen Gohan is pretty much point or mid. They value that he gets his stuff from the jump more than needing a step to reach their, for lack of a better term, maximum potential. Okay, hopefully that all made sense. Leave any questions or comments or whatever. If you have any, like, if you feel like it, I will very much appreciate it. Please subscribe if you enjoy this content. I'm going to be staying on this path for, you know, like the next week or so, week or two. I am going to Frosty Faustings to compete this weekend, so if you want to watch that, go for it. I'll try to find the stream details and put it in the description in a day or two, something like that. And definitely expect Guilty Gear Strive stuff from me and Granblue versus stuff when I come back next week. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.